Hello, hello, hello. Come in the room. Come in the room. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's your girl Raquel with Twoc Talk Thursdays. We have not been here in a while. We haven't been here in a while, honey. We've been just doing the work, traveling quite a bit, seeing what we can see, learning what we need to learn, where our community is concerned, so that we can be of greater support, greater service. Of course, I am Raquel. And I'm one of the senior servants here at Twoc Healing Project. On yesterday, yes, I'm not going to let that go because that's what God gave me. That I am a servant and we are here to serve. And so we want to start off, of course, with our check-in. We're going to do a check-in, and the check-in looks like, how are you feeling? What are you looking forward to? And what change can you bring to our community in this climate that we're in right now?
Wow.
Yeah. How do you feel? What are you looking forward to? And what change can you bring to the very climate that we are living in now? So I'll let her introduce herself. You guys know who she
is. Hello. I'm a little hoarse. Long weekend. We were in St. Louis at the NASM conference, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It was.
It was absolutely amazing.
Just everything.
It was just absolutely amazing.
It was.
I went there saying I was going to support my husband. Shout out to Game Changing Men and amazing trailblazing work that they're doing. Wow, transmasculine siblings. I went there saying that I was going to support Game Changing Men. Mm-hmm. And I went there with my hat on to just give and to be able to be there for others. And when I tell you that I was poured into, the organization was poured into, the work that we're doing was poured into.
Yes.
I was poured into as a wife. I was poured into as a sister. I was poured into as a mother in community. So I think I needed that. I needed that. I hadn't been involved in ballroom in a minute. So being able to see my kids and share space with some of my other siblings in ballroom, being able to be a part of the gala and the celebration, and being a part of those rich conversations that took place over the weekend. Shout out to the NASM team, Dr. Q, Doug. Oh my God, Marissa.
Come on, Marissa.
Yeah, it was a stellar event.
Yeah.
The intentionality and the thought that went into the detailing was beyond amazing. I left there with possibility models of what we can create here at the Healing Project, and also understanding that everything we need is already inside of us and the community. Mm-hmm. This community is rich when it comes to culture. It's rich when it comes to resources, knowledge, and all of the other things. And if we just tap within our community, we'll be able to overcome and be able to withstand any attack that's being that we're being victim to, or being attacked by. We'll be able to withstand all of those attacks. So that was an amazing thing, amazing experience. How I feel? I'm excited. I'm leaving to go on vacation.
Good.
Yeah, I need that break. But I'm excited. I'm excited that I'll get a chance to just unpack and let go of some things and heal past some things and come back and be able to really pour into community in a different way. What I'm excited to see and what I want to see in community, or what I can implement, you ask.
So what you're excited, how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. You said how you're feeling, mm-hmm. What you're excited about, mm-hmm. And then what will you be able to bring to this particular climate that we are in right now?
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. I'll be able to bring, once I'm rested, we can't pour into anyone unless we pour into ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. Understanding that, knowing your capacity. Mm-hmm. A lot of us don't. A lot of us don't know our capacity, but I know my capacity. And right now, my body and my skin is longing to be kissed by the sun that only God can do. So that's what I need right now. But once I get that, I'll be able to reinforce those systems that we created here at the Healing Project around civic engagement, around knowing our rights and how we can show up in community and be impactful, around what healing looks like for us at this time in the social political climate, making sure we're registered to vote, and all of those other things are ways that I intend to re-engage or reactivate how we show up or how I show up at the Healing Project.
Good. So I feel great. I feel great. I do. I feel great. A little drained in the moment, but I feel great. What am I? Oh, I feel great. What am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to an amazing summer, learning more about community, being able to be available more to community, learning more things about my own self within community and how I show up. One of the things that I know that I am bringing and able to bring to our community in the current climate that we're in right now is to bring love, bring humility, bring authenticity, bring all of who I am authentic. That's what I'm able to bring to the current climate that we're in. I'm also able to bring some awareness of what's going on in our world, of what we are dealing with, what we are experiencing. It was a few weeks ago that I had watched The Equalizer with Queen Latifah. I don't know if any of you watched that. And it really bothered me. It was a great episode, but it bothered me to know that conversion therapy is something that is still taking place in our world today. And not only is it just taking place, it is in several states. Like there's no laws against it in several states. And for those of you who may not know what conversion therapy is, it's a practice aimed at changing someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. It has been widely discredited and is banned in 22 states. So we're grateful for that, but surely we have more than 22 states. In the District of Columbia, but more than 1,300 practitioners still offer conversion therapy in the U.S. 1,300 practitioners still offer conversion therapy in the United States, according to the new report shared exclusively with Time. And for me, like it's just like mind blowing. It goes on to say it's shocking to still see so many different conversion therapy programs across the U.S. because all of those programs are fraudulent, says California Rep. Ted Lieu, who in June introduced a bill to ban conversion therapy at the federal level. There is no scientific or medical basis for conversion therapy. It is a huge scam. And the scam for me, so I agree with him, right? I agree. The scam for me is that who are you to tell somebody who they're supposed to be? Who are you to change or at least try through therapy? Therapy is something that's supposed to help, right? And here it is. Therapy is causing trauma to try to convert people to being who society says that we should be sexually. And that is so overly bothering to me.
And let's be clear. They're not funding, those states are not funding gender-related services or trans-related, gender-related services or surgeries, but they are supporting conversion therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That is included and protected under the medical laws in some of those states. Not trans-specific or not gender-specific service. They're not going to give you HRT therapy, or none of those things have been passed legal in some of those states. But conversion therapy is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
That's covered under the
22
insurance.
Yes, and it is 19. I think I just counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 states that are allowing, they don't have any laws around conversion therapy, which says that they're okay with it. And my heart goes out to the people who live in those states, who are dealing with their children's, cousins, aunties, uncles, friends, being authentically themselves, having to possibly deal with a parent, because it's happening amongst our youth, having to deal with a parent or grandparents or auntie or uncle that wants to put you in therapy to change you.
And the reality of it is that a lot of parents are going to take that route because the reality is they won't, how can I put this? The piece for me is that they won't be able to use the excuse like they used back in the day where I didn't have the resources. I didn't know how.
Right.
Now the social media, the internet is your resource. If you look around, your community is now your guide, and the community shows you how to teach and how to treat people. So we can't use that excuse anymore.
Right.
But it's those folks that are using their kids as political pawns. They're using their kids as religious pawns, and they're using their kids in all of these other ways that historically have happened to kids, to see that that's now being an option that's being celebrated and that's readily available in states is problematic for me. It's readily available. We're talking about the ban and we're talking about all these different things, but freedom of speech is definitely under attack.
Yes.
Freedom of speech is definitely under attack. They're attacking those platforms and those avenues in which we use to advocate for ourselves, and those avenues and those platforms in which we use to tell our stories, such as TikTok and all of those different platforms that we use to create community. It's sad that we are now having to fight for our rights to be able to not only exist, but to speak of our existence as Black folk. We're fighting around DEI and inclusion, and we're fighting to make sure that our stories remain in history books, when as trans folks, we're fighting to even find our history that have already been erased. As Black folk, we have somewhat of a lineage, and we have knowledge of some of those stories, and Nat Turner and Sojourner Truth and Miriam DeCloud Bethune and all of those amazing folk. But there's going to come a time when the only stories that we're going to have, and Black folk are going to be like those trans folk, to where it's going to be folklore. The story of slavery is not going to be something that's readily available and tangible in textbooks if we don't fight for that.
Right. Going to voting gets us right back to voting. And of course, you know that we have a campaign. We have a campaign coming up, for voting. And we got to vote, people. Like, I know some people probably tired of hearing it, but it's so true. And if we don't vote, right, because that's our voice, then government is going to speak for us.
They already are.
And they're already speaking for us. But if you don't vote, then it becomes solidified. Then it becomes, it gets passed into law. And it's not just going to affect us people of the LGBTQIA plus community. No. It's going to affect all of us. And I believe that is the misnomer that people have, that it's just going to affect us, but it's not. It's going to affect all of us, especially those of us who are Black and brown people. It's definitely going to affect us, like, greatly.
I believe that if we don't know our history, if we don't know who we are, we don't know our potential, we allow ourselves to be named and called by everybody else. Mm-hmm. And throughout history, I just was doing some research because I get tired of people saying that trans folks didn't do this and trans wasn't a thing. Although that terminology was not a thing, our existence have been enshrined in the culture and the bedrock of this world. And I just went and did some research, and all the way down to when we talk about modern history, we talk about um, medieval to early modern history. Throughout history, there have been more notable figures who were queer, gender nonconforming, or transgendered, both in ancient and more recent time. Here are some key individuals. Sappho, 630 to 57 BC, which means before Christ. Ancient Greek poet from the islands of Lesbos. Significance: Sappho's poetry often explored themes of love and desire between women, and she is one of the earliest known figures associated with same-sex love. Here we have Pharaoh Hatshepsut. This was 1507 to 1458 BC. Identity: female pharaoh of Egypt who often depicted herself in masculine attire while wearing male titles. Significance: while not definitely transgendered or gender nonconforming by modern standards, Hatshepsut's presentation challenged traditional gender roles. And if you go back to Elibus, that's 203 to 202, that's AD. The identity: Roman emperor who ruled from 2018 to 2022 AD. They're significantly known for defying gender norms. Elagabalus preferred to be addressed as a woman and is considered by some historians to have been transgender or gender nonconforming. And that's just some. I've done my research.
To show how we've existed always.
I've done my research, and there's more than 7 pages of this. And because it's important to me, I understand my role and my potential and my purpose. But if we constantly allow ourselves to be allocated to somebody else's vision of us, telling us that we're less than, we're minorities, we've come from less than, we are slaves. No, honey, we're pioneers. Right. We're trailblazers. We're kings and queens. Absolutely. We have come from this. We have shaped and we have shaped culture in the world the way that we know it. We have always been here. We have been painters. We have been poets. We have been historians. We have been makeup artists. We have been doctors. We have been stylists. When we talk about HRT therapy, it's even deeper than the injections for me. When we talk about how our ancestors, our trans ancestors, even realized that you can take MERS urine. You can take pregnant MERS urine and understand that there are some female hormones in that urine that we can now shift out and take all the toxins out and throw away the waste. And if we take this, that we will now start us on our physical journeys into being who we are. Wow. That urine from a female horse. Wow. In Egypt, that's when that process derived. It was called the leafing process. They would take the leaf, they would take the urine, and they would shift all of the toxins and clean it like they did with tea. And everything that was left was the things that was used. And those eunuchs and those folks back then would take that estrogen that we now call estrogen. Right. But so they could authentically be themselves. But how did one know that? And I understand that as a woman of trans experience, I know that there's a certain smell that hormones left off. But I would never think to adjacent that smell to a female horse. Right. But we have been brilliant throughout history. And I want us to understand. So, and for me, the fight is not about me and my community going to a place that we never existed. I understand when I go to sleep, I'm taking on these journeys and I'm introduced to a place in the land where we existed in our fullness. So understand that as I'm fighting and I'm leading the healing project, I'm leading us to a place where we rightfully belong. I'm fighting for a place of existence because I know that this is where we should be. Everywhere that we own is space that we should occupy because we deserve that. Absolutely. We deserve that. Absolutely. We're worthy of that. Yeah. But those are some of the notable figures throughout history. And even when it's saying in Africa, I haven't done my research. I found some of those figures and those key figures in Africa. Understand that our history is vast. Understand that we have rich history in this world. Even though slavery was harsh in its inception, and it was one of the most horrific things that we could have ever experienced, I do believe that our dispersal throughout the world through this thing called slavery was needed. Because if we would have not been dispersed throughout this world, imagine what this world would be. Imagine how uninhabited, how unfurnished, how undeveloped it would have been. Because I can't imagine a world without me or you in it.
Right.
I can imagine a world without some of our ancestors and our elders and our ancestors in it. And that was one of the amazing things that took place and came out of slavery. There's no way possible that all of our gifts could have been allocated to that continent called Africa. The rest of the world would have suffered. Yeah, that's just my take on that. I'm sorry,
we wanted to come to you guys today just to present this to you. Like I said, there are 19 states where this is legal. 19 states where it is legal for practitioners to try and change someone's sexual identity. So we've got to vote. And our campaign, Lifting Our Voices to Vote, definitely is the bandwagon to get on so that your voice can be heard. People, we got to vote. We got to let our voices be heard, because if we don't, it's not going to look good for us. And we get to change these things, right? Because we've got power, but we've got to stop allowing ourselves to be sidetracked by those who are in power, trying to make us believe that we're not strong and we're not powerful to change things, because we can. We can.
Yeah, and we have to. And if you're unsure or don't have knowledge on how to fight or know what your rights are, www.twchealingproject.org, or you can email me at toy@twchealingproject.org, toy@twchealingproject.org, or you can follow us at twchealingproject.org, www.twchealingproject.org. And also, I just want to say that it's an amazing time right now in the trans community. It is. I know a lot of you are probably watching social media and watching the news, and we're talking about how Black trans women are taking their rightful place in leadership in this country and around the world. Yes, it is a true thing. I am fortunate enough to be a part of the Tenacious 10 through Borales, and Dominique Morgan created the Tenacious 10, the Flower Crown Project, and it's incubated and supported by Borales Philanthropy, Gilead Sciences. And if a lot of you have been paying attention, just last weekend, they had the rollout and the launch of the T.S. Madison Starter House,
Yes.
Which is an amazing, I wouldn't even call it a house. I call it an amazing incubator of innovation. Mm-hmm. It's beyond a house to me. I believe that the tools and the knowledge and the resources that the ladies and the participants are going to gain by being a part of that house is something that I wished as a youth that I had experienced. There's going to be a room that's going to cultivate and give them introduction and education in technology. We at the Healing Project will be able to make sure that healing and intentional grounding, self-awareness,
yes.
self-care and
yes.
confidence is in the bedrock of the programming, mm-hmm. because we'll be making sure that those healing components are present in those participants and within the other other participants in the house and the other organizations that's put in place to provide the services, like the Lavender Rights Project, that's making sure that the community members and the participants in the house are armed with the tools of advocacy, understanding how legal name changes in those documents will be accessible to them. You have We Care Tennessee that's going to play a vital role around what does it look like for sex workers liberation. Jasmine and Project Youth and We Care Tennessee are staunch advocates around sex work and sex workers liberation. So those are some of the organizations that's going to really be intentional within the development of the participants of the T.S. Madison Starter House. So thank you, Nason, for allowing this to take place under your realm and making sure that under your leadership that this and this vision is possible. Thank you, Dominique, for being a visionary of this. And thank you, T.S. Madison, for being a philanthropist and saying yes to making this particular thing happen. It's a beautiful time in community. Let's not get distracted by all of the confusion and all of the chaos, because we as believers know that chaos births order.
Maybe.
And in this moment, it's a chaotic climate. But I believe that chaos has to take place so that those folks that have the position and have the purpose are able to take their rightful positions and do the things that need to be done in community.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to being a part. I'm looking forward to being a part, to be able to bring the spiritual peace to the house, to bring that centering peace, to bring that piece of healing, right? Because we all have areas in life that we need to be healed in. Also, I just recently got my high school diploma. And so Tears Academy also is going to be in place, offering the girls what they need to get their high school diploma. And nothing wrong with GED, but to get their high school diploma.
Eliminate the stigma.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay.
It is.
It's okay. It's okay. We're here. We understand. There's nothing you have to do publicly. We understand the importance of living out loud. But whatever you accomplish or whatever you're working on, just because you give it to us, that doesn't mean it's going to be on a large platform. Our job is to meet you where you are in your journey. Raquel chooses to use herself as a vessel so others will see. The Spirit said, let your light so shine before others, that they may see your good work.
Absolutely. Yep.
And thank you for that. Thank you for being transparent.
Amen.
Because we know that that's a issue that a large amount of us in community suffers with. That diploma has been the gatekeeper for so many doors for us that have not been opened.
And it has kept me out. And I remember the lady who runs the program, Dr. Anise Mabry, she said to me, will you be okay with telling people? Absolutely. Absolutely. Life has been lifing for a whole lot of us. Different situations have taken place that have caused us not to be able to get our high school diploma. And not having that piece of paperwork keeps you out of college doors, keeps you out of other programs that you can go to, keeps you out of employment. And nowadays, we don't live in the time anymore where you can just tell them you graduated and you get hired. Now they're checking. They want you to bring it. Yes, they want you to bring it in order to hire you. And so if any of the girls out here, not just the girls, but anybody in the LGBTQIA plus community who wants the information, who wants to get your high school diploma, well, now you can get it. The only thing that I paid for was my cap and gown. The rest of it is free. That is the only thing I paid for was my cap and gown and my actual diploma. You can reach out to me at Raquel, that's RAHKEL H at TWOC healingproject.org, and I can give you that information. If you like to reach me, you can reach me at Raquel, that's RAHKEL H at TWOC healingproject.org. Today's the day. But amen. So yeah, if you want that information, I have it for you, because we all deserve to have our high school diploma so that it does not continue to be a barrier to getting us to the next level. We are here to dispel barriers. We are here to create intentional pathways so that we can be the best us that we know how to be, while always giving you the tools so that you can be healthy, healed, and whole.
Oh my God.
This is Twoc Talk Thursdays. I'm your girl, Raquel.
And love on yourself a little.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to love yourself. I know when looking at the news, it's not for everybody. I want us to be able to pay attention and look at it. But it also takes a lot of grace and courage to be able to watch the news, because we're pulled. We don't know who to trust. We don't know where to go. But in these times, I just want you to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself beyond that verge of a break. And if you need support with love and what that looks like, reach out to us. We're here. Yeah. Love yourselves. Give yourself permission to love yourself. Share space with friends and loved ones. You don't have to be a beast and take on those things by yourself. You're not alone. You're only alone because you haven't shared it. Once you share it, you'll realize there's other folks that's experiencing that same thing that you're experiencing. So love on yourself. Talk to your best friend. Check on your strong friend. It's time. We have to do those check-ins. Yeah.
So it's been another Twoc Talk Thursdays. We love you. Until next time, please know that we are here always to keep you in the know, always to be sure that you're on the path to being healthy, healed, and whole. I'm your girl, Raquel, and that's Toy. Until next time, you have an amazing, beautiful, awesome weekend. Okay?
Yes.